positive after traces of cocaine were discovered as a result of a routine test that was given to the voluntary anti-doping agency. It's understood that the anti-doping data on the day...
Him connected to this, it's even more shocking. You just highlighted there, this is the noises that this is a voluntary anti-doping test.
At the moment, the British Boxing Board of Control aren't. So we have to speak with them, deal with the legal situation and see where it lands. And this is quite fresh. Obviously, I don't even think it's 30 minutes. I think it's more like 10 or 15 minutes since that. And, you know, we'll see what...
You made of him?
The drug cheat. Is that a fight you'd entertain?
No, definitely.
At no point. No.
Accept that. I think what they want to see is, you know, blood, him get hurt and take an interview.
I always say, it don't matter what drugs you take, it doesn't make you a better fighter. Might make you stronger, might make you fit. It doesn't make you a better fighter, and that's proof. You know, so until more news comes out, you just got to deal with it.
A raw deal, I think. But I say it, I'm truthful. They should have had more brains. It was a fucking pathetic move.
You know, the Conor failed a drug test. That is a fact. It's not been denied anywhere. You know, there's lots of talk about, you know, let's see how this works out, and, you know, he's entitled to get his day and so forth. Well, it should be dealt with very quickly. And it's
Pointed. I'm probably gutted. I'm something has to change, but I don't know who knew what. I'm thinking, why don't they just come out now then? You know, I knew, and I'm hearing everybody else is saying they've only just found out.
You watch the aftermath of Conor Benn's win over Chris Eubank Jr. unfold, and instead of celebration, you see the boxing world recoil. The performance that should have elevated Benn is now being torn apart, examined from every angle, and criticized by people who know the sport inside out. Benn didn't leave that ring as a triumphant warrior. He walked straight into a scandal that now overshadows everything he did. Long before the applause faded, the doubts began to spread. His failed test wasn't speculation. It was documented fact. Fighters and analysts immediately pointed to the unnatural explosiveness. He showed power spikes, stamina surges, and intensity that didn't align with normal athletic progression. Eubank Jr. wasn't just beaten. He was bulldozed by someone many now believe was chemically engineered for war. Skill didn't define the fight, enhancement did. The backlash was swift. Anthony Joshua openly questioned how anyone could pretend the win was legitimate. Adam Catterall emphasized the timing of the test and the seriousness of what was found. And Johnny Nelson, never one to soften his opinions, spelled it out clearly. Performance, enhancing drugs don't teach strategy, awareness, or IQ, and nothing Benn displayed looked like natural ring intelligence. It looked manufactured. The British Boxing Board of Control went into crisis mode. Eddie Hearn admitted the situation was fresh, chaotic, and under heavy scrutiny. And for good reason, this wasn't a case of a contaminated supplement. New reports suggested an entire stack of substances, with rumors circling about as many as 14 different products. 14! That's not nutrition, that's pharmacology. John Fury didn't hold back either. He said what many fighters were thinking. This wasn't just cheating, it was dangerous. Stepping into a ring with another man while using chemical enhancers isn't competition. It's risking someone's life. Boxing already demands respect because of the danger built into it. Benn broke that code.
It's like a slap in the face for his dad. His dad was an absolute warrior. I remember his dad world fighting, and he was an absolute warrior. And some of the fights he had will go down in boxing history as being some of the most savage fights ever. I don't think his dad ever got done for anything illegal. And to me, it's just wrong.
Oh, cheating bastard. Yeah. You know, that's the initial reaction. Whether it's a first fail or a third fail, that's the initial reaction. Your gut reaction is. But then obviously we don't know what he's failed for yet, and we don't know what it is. But then when it's someone that's failed 3 times, or this is the third adverse reaction.
High-profile guys getting caught, and it's just horrible. Genuinely, and I know you were about saying, without going fucking fully mental here, I just believe if you're caught with any performance-enhancing drug, you should be banned.
Correct. This should not be their decision. The British Boxing Board of Control should be standing up and taking the voluntary anti-doping test seriously. Absolutely. Yes, I know that you work with the UK anti-doping, I know that, but this is a test. He's popped hot. Let's look into it properly. What happens what if something happens on Saturday night?
Absolutely.
What if We've already got to see.
If Conor Benn's been using, ban the fucker. Ban him. Because it's a dangerous sport. Whatever they do, whatever they don't. But I'm having no opinion on it at all. You know, a man's innocent.
Duke McKenzie went even deeper, speaking on legacy. He reminded fans of Nigel Benn, a warrior remembered for heart, toughness, and unforgettable battles. To see his son's name tangled in doping allegations felt like an insult to everything the elder Benn represented. Older fans felt that sting personally. Then came Carl Frampton, whose response was cold and absolute. Cheating at this level shouldn't mean a slap on the wrist. He argued that fighters caught using PEDs should face extremely long bans, maybe even lifetime removal, because the risks are far too severe to tolerate. Dave Coldwell captured the public mood perfectly. Disbelief mixed with anger and betrayal. First offense or not, it doesn't matter. Once a ped cloud forms, every punch becomes questionable, every highlight suspicious, every moment of dominance tainted. And it got even darker. Talk of masking agents surfaced allegations suggesting not just doping, but the possibility of attempts to hide it. That pushed this from controversy into crisis.
Don't make you a better fighter. Drugs may make you a little stronger, may make you a little, give you a bit more energy, but it don't make you technically smart. It doesn't give you all of that. You know, so those drug cheats that do it purposely, you've got to remember, you know, why are you doing it? What difference is it going to make? It's going to make you like a boxing Einstein.
Conor is a far better fighter than Chris Eubank Jr. is a boxer.
Technically, yeah.
And that's the problem that Chris Eubank Jr. is having. He's got this thing in his mind. He's a masterful boxer. No, you're not.
No.
I'm sorry, no, you're not.
Well, he's been.
That's kind of easier to digest. This is weird. Like, I don't know if cocaine, I honestly, I don't know if cocaine is now used as a masking agent for a performance enhancing drug.
Fucking hell, cheating bastard.
Yeah.
You know, that's the initial reaction. Whether it's a first fail or a third fail, that's the initial reaction. Your gut reaction is, but then obviously we don't know what he's failed for yet, and we don't know what it is. But then when it's someone that's failed 3 times, or this is the third adverse reaction.
This morning, I'm just slowly coming up. One of my colleagues, Jeremy Wilson's doing it for the Telegraph. He's the drugs expert, or the doping expert on the desk, and I think there was something like 14 supplements that he was using.
What was used? How long had it been happening? How deep did it go? When Gareth A. Davies reported the alleged list of 14 supplements, any remaining defenders fell silent. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This looked systematic. Now, the spotlight shifts. Not to Eubank Jr., who, despite losing, walks away with dignity intact, but to Benn, whose win is now treated like a fabricated performance rather than an athletic accomplishment. The damage is severe. Analysts reject apologies, fighters reject excuses, fans reject legitimacy, and the sport takes yet another hit because of a fighter who crossed the line that should never be crossed. Unless Benn can somehow clear his name fully, completely, convincingly, this stain will follow him for the rest of his career. So now the question is yours. Can Conor Benn ever truly come back from this? Should a fighter caught with this level of PED controversy be banned for life? Or is redemption still a possibility in a sport that often forgives but never forgets? Drop your thoughts in the comments.